Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. This afternoon, calls for the removal of special prosecutor intensify as group marches to petition presidency.
He himself said he wanted to arrest the man. And so if you want to arrest him and he's going and you don't know how to blow the whistle that Daniel should come and help you, then that's a mistake plus incompetence. Can you imagine?
Hoping on that, also Supreme Court gives Wesley Girls Senior High School 14 days to respond to allegations of human rights abuses. We'll tell you why. And much later on the program, we'll take you to Pandai to gauge the mood of residents following the High Court's annulment of the 2024 parliamentary election results. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, calls for the removal of the special prosecutor, Kisie Jabin, have intensified as special groups and citizens take to the streets to petition the presidency. The protest, dubbed Agroniform, is being led by Apostle Abraham Lincoln Labi, together with a group of concerned citizens, including private legal practitioner Martin Pebu. The protesters began the march from the Obra Sport at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange. They are currently moving through major routes and are expected to converge at the Jubilee House, where they will formally present their petition to the presidency demanding the dismissal of the special prosecutor. The organizers say that public confidence in the office of the special prosecutor has waned and that Kisie Jabin's leadership and his removal is necessary to restore integrity and trust in the anti-corruption mandate. Martin Pebu spoke to our news team.
He himself said he wanted to arrest the man. And so if you want to arrest him and he's going and you don't know how to blow the whistle that Daniel should come and help you, then that's a mistake. It's plus incompetence. Can you imagine? Every day when police want to catch somebody, they can't find him. They come on radio. We are looking for a suspect. Don't the police do that? When police are looking for a suspect, they can't find him. Don't they do announcement that we are looking for this person? You should report at the police station. Or anybody who finds him, arrest him for us.
Council, you are facing OSP today. There are demonstrations against him in the morning, and in the evening you are facing. What are the expectations?
Oh, it's not much. Over there, going to his office, he's just asking me for further information on these matters. I said that by sitting down and allowing Ofuriata to run away, he's incompetent. That's stated misbehavior, right? Because there's a way to do your work, right? Yes, so that's why I went. This very sweet. That's how we explained to him. And the matters of corruption, yes, we will explain. So I'm not under investigation. He just said, come and give me more information. Come and give me more information. So I'll go and give him. I'm a citizen.
Do you know the popular term, changes say you go explain tire? Do you know about it?
Yes.
So are you sure you know go explain tire for them?
No.
And you had the private legal practitioner Martin Pebu interacting with our news team earlier today. Our reporter George Quainin will be joining us very shortly with some more from the protest. Meanwhile, fresh details are beginning to emerge regarding what point in time the OSP began investigating the SML and former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri-Awene has provided evidence that the investigation began in January 2025. In a social media post, he said that when he was told investigations are about to begin in the matter after he petitioned the special prosecutor in 2023. Let's hear. Okay, so Manasseh says, per his post on Facebook, on social media, that on January 29, 2025, Mark Kwekwe-Siedu, a deputy staff officer at the investigations department of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, contacted me. He said the OSP was about to start investigations into the SML scandal, which I had petitioned the office in December 2023. Mr. Siedu's reason for contacting me was that the investigation team needed context and background on the issues beyond my petition and the documentary. This is standard practice. I had assisted the police, Raj, and even the OSP in the past. Before they start their investigations, they would often speak to me, get more information or evidence that may not have made it to the publication. The OSP has consistently kept Ghanaians informed through its statutory half-yearly reports since December 2023. And it says 28 December 2023, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and Ghana Revenue Authority, the OSP commenced a preliminary investigation into contractual arrangements between SML and GRA relating to revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and the minerals and metals resources value chain. On 29 December 2023, the President appointed KPMG to audit the contract and related transactions between SML and GRA, focusing on procurement propriety, contracting processes, and cost value analyses. KPMG submitted its audit findings to the President on March 27, 2024. The OSP incorporated the audit outcome into its ongoing investigations. Following the preliminary investigation initiated on 19 December 2023 and a comprehensive review of the KPMG audit report dated 27 March 2024, the OSP commenced a full investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences involving the SML-GRA contract arrangement. So that's from Manasseh there, but let's listen to a bit more of what he has been saying.
As of 2024 November, the Office of the Special Prosecutor of the Republic of Ghana had not started the SML investigation. And I'm saying this on authority. Tomorrow I'll provide the evidence. Anybody who cares to revisit our documentary would see Ken Oforiatta in even the promo of that documentary. The online stories, the very first online story, it is still online, published in December 2023. The title is, the headline, "The 3 billion CD lie. Government pays hundreds of millions to a company in a shady deal." The first photograph there is Ken Oforiatta, and then you have Christian Soti, who is the managing director of SML. So at every material point, we mention this. And Esther Corey was also mentioned. And if Ghanaians care to know, the OSP has confessed that at the time Esther Corey was leaving the country, that was almost the end of 2024, the Office of the Special Prosecutor did not know that he was a person of interest. That is right. I agree with them. So if there is no formal communication to put someone on the stop list, then the person going through the system may not be apprehended, because if you don't have the orders to stop somebody from traveling or getting in, you cannot do that. So these are the facts that I've put out there. And some of the comments they have made to the effect that their investigation established Ken Oforiatta as a key whatever. I think that was said in the documentary in 2023.
Investigative journalist Manasseh Azura Winneba, the special prosecutor, has fired back. Let me just read what the special prosecutor is saying. It says, response to third epistle of Manasseh and misleading facts. First, it is good he has accepted the inaccurate information on amount petitioned in his petition. This is why we respond to correct inaccuracies. Now to the main matter. I am probably right in our estimation of you that you are a glory hunter, as you're sharing credit as to who should be credited for what. It is one republic, and if your petition and President Akufo-Addo's temporary intervention, the OSP's investigation, and President Mahama's cancellation of all the SML contracts have led to saving the nation billions, All of us can take pride in that. It serves no purpose, you seeking to undermine the OSP and making it seem as if its investigation was immaterial. Indeed, the billions that were saved were more from the upstream and mineral sector audit, which President Akufo-Addo sanctioned for its performance just before he left office, and that, but for the OSP's investigation, after the sanctioning of that component, those contracts would have still been in force and be milking the Republic billions had President Mahama not cancelled them as a result of the OSP investigation. So may you go along glory hunting. The OSP will focus on its statutory mandate of safeguarding this dear Republic. It is the main reason OSP has not responded to you officially or on any of our official platforms or responded to you on your various TV interviews. So that's that message there from the special prosecutor responding to investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Awene. Well, the Supreme Court has given Wesley Girls Senior High School 14 days to respond to specific allegations of human rights abuses made against it. The 7-member panel, presided over by Justice Gabriel Scott Kwaman, observed that factual allegations that it compels students to attend to Christian services and perform Christian practices, and that the school prevents non-Christian students from practicing their religion. Sisters Donwolo Esquire is a producer covering the case in court. He joins us live on the phone with some more. Sisters, if you can give us an update on the proceedings so far.
Hello?
Sisters, we can hear you. If you would kindly give us an update on proceedings so far.
Yes, Beatrice, as you said in the introduction, the beginning part, at least I caught, the court starts today. Well, we would all by now know that there's a case involving Wesley Girls Senior High School. A private legal practitioner, Shafiq Osman, is before the Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court to make certain declarations, which declarations would eventually amount to the effect that Wesley Girls Senior High School is violating the rights of its students to free worship or to the religion of their choice by not allowing them to freely practice their religious beliefs on campus. The court, when it sat today, observed that the school, I mean, as per the processes that have been filed by the private legal practitioner, it says that the school, one, compels students to adhere to and practice some Christian religious practices, like going to church service. And number two, it does not allow the students to practice their private individual religious beliefs. So if you're a Muslim, you won't be able to have your Muslim faith or practice your Muslim faith whilst within the precincts of the school. And so the private legal practitioner wants the Supreme Court to make some declarations to that the effect that these are unconstitutional and the school should be compelled to stop that. Now, when the court starts, they realize that the allegations that have been raised are actually allegations of fact. And the court said it was of the view that it would help the matter if the school would respond to these specific factual allegations to then inform the direction that the case would take. That is to say that if the school was to admit that indeed by its practices, these are things that students must do, and these have been long-standing practices, then it would shorten the life of the case in court. But if it were to deny that these are not practices, these are not things that are happening in the school, then the private legal practitioner, who is the plaintiff in this matter, would be called upon to lead evidence to substantiate the allegations that have been made. This is the reason the court says that Wesley Girls should...
You have no call credits.
We'll have to get back to Sisters Donwulu with the latest on that. As we do that, the Minority Caucus in Parliament has described the 2024 parliamentary election in the Pandai constituency, which declared Matthew Nyindam winner, as free, fair and transparent. The reaction follows a High Court ruling that annulled the result and ordered Mr. Nyindam to stop holding himself out as Member of Parliament. The court has further directed that a fresh election be conducted within 30 days. In a statement signed by the leader of the caucus, Alexander Penyomarkin, the minority insisted the declared results, with Matthew Nyindam securing 27,947 votes against Daniel Insale's 24,213, accurately reflected the will of the people of Pandai. The caucus reaffirmed its commitment to due process and expressed confidence that the appellate process will ultimately uphold the legitimacy of the electoral process. Meanwhile, there are mixed reactions among the residents in the Pandai constituency following Monday's court ruling. For some, a rerun of the election will bring finality to the argument of whether the election was rigged or not, while others argue that the elections should have been conducted in the 41 affected polling stations in contention. Let's hear some of the residents speak to us earlier.
Election now, what's say what I got in Sunday, no, the GDC boy. There's a yet to election, no. Young I do my hair thinking, you so my view, you so my view, until Yamia do not say a sa toa, and the Bia Nabano Quans, no Bia, so Bia, Sylvia, and say, Bia Quata Cano Yafuaso.
As a resident, I think they should forget it because they are going to waste resources and again put lives in risk. A lot of lives are around here. They don't know their left and right on elections and how it fits. So they should just forget and concentrate on what it entails. And as an electorate, I don't believe in politics. I don't support politics for now. So I don't know which I belong. So I'll just advise they should just let things lie.
It's not easy for us because already they are giving to Mr. Matthew and we are now hearing that there should be a rerun again. So maybe some people have work that they are doing, but because of the rerun, maybe they will leave their work and maybe for the election, because of the election, they will leave their work in the house and maybe later on it will delay their work and everything. So it's not easy for us, but we will manage and maybe we will try and also participate in the election that is coming.
Oh, maybe I come quite the anchor, the Aban can get so much hassle. Now, every assume every bad because as I know, yeah, we are who bet here. Your man was so post school. Well, yes, we are told that and 1 year ton, and the other Tony, the Aham Palan. It's about some Samba, but the code is Samai. Ama, Romo Habe Bassa. They come and quank, common chance, and our woman has remember when they won't play.
And you heard there some residents of Pandai. Let's speak to Christopher Marco. He's our man flowing this for us. Chris, tell us what the situation is like on the ground.
Yeah, so Beatrice, the situation in Pandai is calm. Everybody is going about his or her normal daily routine activities, and everything is cool, despite the fact that people have some concerns about the court ruling yesterday. But as we speak, the atmosphere in Pandai here is cool.
What about security? How is it looking like, although we have about 30 days after the court's ruling for this to happen?
Yes, so there hasn't been any security built up in the community because for some of the residents, there's no need for security beef up for now. Probably when the elections are due, maybe they can intensify security patrols. But for now, there's no need for any security. But I can confirm to you that the Pandai District Security Committee is currently meeting, even though this is not the major issue that DISEC is meeting about, but it is one of the things that will come up in the discussion of DISEC.
Thank you very much, Christopher Marco. He's our Northern Region correspondent. This afternoon, the Lands and Natural Resources Committee has called for an amendment of the law on mining royalties to adjust the lithium agreement royalty from 5% to a better rate, likely 10% or more. The chairperson, Colin Stauder, says the current law, which is the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2010, 10 sets the royalty rate at 5%, which is what is contained in the new deal laid by the minister. He says an attempt to get the amendment done by the previous minister was unsuccessful, rejecting claims by the current minority that the agreement was rejected in the past parliament.
Which was going to pay royalties on lithium at 10%. While the other mining giants like Newmont, like Goldfrost, like AngloGold and others were going to stay on at 5%. We felt it was unfair and also discriminatory. And so based on these two, the legal challenge and this unfairness in the market, we advise the minister to take steps to amend the law to reflect what he put in the agreement. That's what the challenge. But we didn't see how we're going to recommend 10% to the House when indeed the source or the authority of the agreement frowned against the 10%. So the report never was presented to Parliament. So anybody who says that the minority rejected is misleading the House. The committee is inaccurate and also misleading because the report was not, no report was presented to the House for the House to debate and ratify or not ratify. That is what it is. Now with the present administration, Honorable Amakufiboa, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has presented an agreement between the Republic of Ghana and Barari PVT, Ghana Limited, on it. In that agreement, government did not specify any percentage, but said that royalty will be paid as prescribed by law. What it means is that what is prescribed by law at the moment is 5%.
Let's go to Christian Yale. He's our parliamentary correspondent. Chris, if you can hear us, what exactly is the Lands and Natural Resources Committee proposing and why it believes that the 5% perhaps is inadequate?
In fact, Beatrice, it has been a bone of contention right after the current minister, who is also the acting environment minister, have laid the new LI before Parliament. One issue that major stakeholders have raised concerning this new deal is the fact that if the former deal, which was proposed or promulgated by the former administration, was, arguing for or calling for a 10% royalty rate, then why should this current administration bring a 5% rate, which is way below what was raised earlier by the former administration, which even was questioned by activists as well as major stakeholders that it was inadequate in the sense that the country may not be able to remit the enough benefit from this whole lithium agreement. And so what the Land Committee is basically putting across by way of this pressure is the fact that no one should blame the current minister for the current rate of 5%, which is in the new deal, because then the existing legal frame or the law, which is the Minerals and Mining Amendments Act, stipulates that the rate of royalty that government can charge any company, and not even Barari DV Ghana Limited alone, is 5%, which means that the minister in his own capacity cannot quote more than 5%. And so if anything, then there should be that need for the law to be amended. And the case they make actually is that they had earlier sought the guidance of the former minister in the past administration to amend the law, but that could not happen before a change of power.
So what is next for the committee?
The committee says that it is already engaging the public. There has been an advertisement of the new deal, which is already in the public domain. And so there is that invitation to all major stakeholders to appear before the committee or send their input into this new deal before a final one would be presented before the House for ratification. Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Christian Yale. He's our parliamentary correspondent. The Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, has invited the leadership of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, to a meeting over their grievances. This follows the association's declaration of an indefinite strike yesterday in protest against what they describe as the government failure to fully implement the 2023 National Labour Commission Arbitral Award. President of CTAG, Maxwell Bunu, told 3FM that their side is ready for today's meeting.
I had a call from the Prinkoff chairman that the minister would like to meet us, and then also had a call from GTEC, the deputy general, that they would also like to meet with us. I think we have had enough of these CTAG coming, embarking on strike. We are not happy with the way things are, so that we don't want to be noted that we are only interested in going on strike. So at this point, we are going to ensure that all the outstanding issues are resolved before we suspend this strike. That is ensuring that the 39 outstanding colleges that they owe the all year round work compensation for additional duty performed in the year 2022, the funds are released. Then our 2022-23, 2023-24 BRA arrears are also paid. Then Apokere's money, that is the top up, is also released. That of our colleagues that have been downgraded, Labour Commission has taken up that matter and will get the ruling next year, January 21st.
Right.
That was the date that was set. So we want to actually use this opportunity and make sure that all outstanding issues are resolved for CTAG members.
And you have there Maxwell Bunu. He's the president of CTAG. Daniel Opoku is our Labour Affairs correspondent. He joins us live on the phone. Daniel, beyond the meeting today, what more can you tell us about this ongoing industrial action?
Right, so the Sector Minister of Education just decided to meet the leadership of CTAG, and we shifted the meeting to 2 p.m. So it's around this 2 p.m. that leadership of CTAG will meet the Sector Minister, basically to discuss the various issues that they have raised. And when you listen to CTAG clearly, also read the content of their statement. Basically, what they are saying is that if government does not pay them, they are not going back to the classrooms. Because this is based a ruling given by the National Labour Commission somewhere May 2023, and the issues have been outstanding. So we foresee the Sector Minister of Education trying, one, convince the leadership of CTAG to call off the strike, and two, asking the Minister of Finance either raise a supplementary budget or should be some refinancing agreements for them to be able to defray the cost that are owed the leadership of all members of CTAG nationwide. That would help them to call off the strike for academic work to resume.
Thank you very much, Daniel Opoku. He's our Labour Affairs correspondent. Thank you for bringing us those details. My name is Beatrice. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Good afternoon.
FM 92.7 3 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 FM. 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 92.7 3 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana's external reserves hit over $11.4 billion mark, strengthening economy's defense against global shocks. We'll hear from Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama.
Gross reserves have risen to over $11 billion, which are equivalent to 4.8 months of imports cover. And these are projected to reach 5 months by the year end.
Also ahead, EU wants Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire risk losing global cocoa market share without swift reforms amid climate and labor concerns. Plus, Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association of Ghana urges fast-track implementation of 2026 agri-policies.
Before that, Boboya will move the team from where they are getting, for example, plantain, from those far places and get to the roadside, and the driver will pick it to the market. Those costs build up. That's why food price is so high.
I am Bismarck Ausa. I will bring you details of our headline stories and others lined up for you. Please stay. Thanks for your company. Now to the details. Ghana's external buffers have received a major uplift, with gross international reserves now exceeding $11.41 billion. Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama disclosed the latest figures at the opening of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting yesterday, describing the development as a clear signal of improving economic stability. He noted that the reserve position, equivalent to 4.8 months of import cover, places the country in a stronger position to withstand external pressures and maintain macroeconomic confidence.
Headline inflation is at 8.0%. Core inflation measures are between 5 and 7%, and expectations remain well anchored. The cedi has demonstrated resilience in 2025, supported by improved confidence, strong operational reforms in the FX market, and robust trade and reserve inflows. Gross reserves, on the other hand, have risen to over $11 billion, which are equivalent to 4.8 months of imports cover, and these are projected to reach 5 months by the year end. What stands out, colleagues, this quarter is the broad momentum in economic activity. Growth has been stronger and more diversified than anticipated. The first half of the year recorded 6.3% GDP growth. This was driven mainly by vibrant expansion in services and agriculture, while non-oil GDP surged to 7.8%.
And that was Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, is aggressively moving to expand its tax net to capture revenue from the rapidly growing digital economy, with plans for potential implementation by 2026. The Commissioner General of the GRA, Anthony Kwesi Sapon, revealed that the authority is currently piloting a specialized digital tool designed to track and enable the taxation of online transactions, including those involving international platforms that sell extensively to Ghanaian consumers.
One thing we also haven't mentioned here is the digital economy technology we are piloting today. So today, I think for many of you, you may be used to it. So you may sit in Ghana and other things from Amazon, from all the places, and the packages will come. If you buy the same item in Ghana, you pay the VAT. Because you are buying online, you are not probably paying the VAT. So we are working with the online companies, and we are currently at the moment piloting the tool. So when you buy online, automatically the tool, when you are paying, will deduct the VAT. If the VAT is on it, VAT will be applied so that we can take the so you equal as parity in terms of those who are buying it inland.
And that was Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon. Now, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are being urged by the European Union and French development partners to fast-track long-delayed reforms in their cocoa sectors amid warnings that both countries could lose competitiveness as global sustainability requirements tighten. The call was reinforced at the Cocoa for Future feedback workshop in Accra, where researchers detailed the troubling impacts of climate change, deforestation, weak disease control, and gaps in certification systems on farmer livelihoods and long-term cocoa productivity. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details. The European Union is cautioning that unless West Africa's cocoa industry rapidly improves environmental and labor practices, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire could face mounting barriers to accessing key markets. At a feedback workshop in Accra, researchers under the EU and AFD-funded Cocoa for Future project revealed that current farming systems remain highly vulnerable. Many farmers continue to rely on low to no shade cocoa production, a practice that boosts yields temporarily but worsens deforestation and reduces climate resilience. The findings also show that cocoa swollen shoot disease remains widespread, cutting yields on severely affected farms, and that farmer-led methods are largely ineffective, prompting calls for intensified rehabilitation programs and wider availability of disease-resistant seedlings. Certification initiatives like fair trade and organic were found to improve harvest and incomes, but the benefits to food security and working conditions are inconsistent due in part to weak cooperative structures and limited access to credit and technical support. Across the sector, the message is consistent. Government must scale up input distribution, clarify tree tenure rights, promote hybrid cocoa varieties, and create formal livelihood support systems, including pensions and affordable finance. Development partners insist these actions are essential as the global cocoa market shifts decisively toward traceable and ethically sourced products, and Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire risk falling behind if reforms continue to stall. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on the EU warning Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire risk losing global cocoa market share without swift reforms amid climate and labor concerns. Now, the Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association of Ghana has welcomed government's 2026 budget, but is strongly urging authorities to fast-track the implementation of the policies targeted at the agricultural sector. President of the association, Felix Kamasa, highlighted the critical link between infrastructure, production costs, and consumer prices during an interview with 3 Business. He emphasized that improving the country's road network, particularly in rural farming areas, is paramount.
Most of those products come from village, but normally we focus on only the commercial farm, which is closer. That's why people think they have to have access road. But when you go to village road, before that, Boboya will move the team from where they are getting, for example, plantain, from those far places and get to the roadside, and the driver will pick it to the market. Those costs build up. That's why food price is so high. Put the Ministry of Agri to bring inputs and then mechanization service. Those are the things that farmers need. When you go to district, where they will get tractor is a challenge. They promise to do 50 mechanization service. They should start early and finish it on time. The irrigation they mentioned. Now the climate is changing. Agriculture production is not more like formerly you know that it will rain tomorrow, so you have to start planning for planting. But if we're able to irrigate our lands we have, I think it's going to help.
This is still Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Ausa. Before we go, Ghana is set to boost its power generation capacity and ensure long-term energy security beginning 2026. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiela Tuforsen has announced plans for a 1,200 megawatt state-owned thermal power plant that will utilize an additional 150 million standard cubic feet of natural gas per day from the OCTP partners and the GPP2 facility. The move forms part of government strategy to deliver reliable and affordable power, strengthen industrial growth, and reduce the country's dependence on expensive emergency power arrangements. Dr. Atuforsen says the project will play a critical role in securing Ghana's energy future.
The government is fast-tracking the Ghana Gas Processing Plant, GPP2. This shift means cheaper power, cleaner energy, and a stronger, self-reliant Ghana. In the medium term, a total of 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day will be produced by our OCTP and Jubilee partners, enough to generate up to 1,200 megawatts of power, bigger than Akosombo Dam. Beginning 2026, government will commence the construction of a 1,200 megawatt state-owned thermal power plant to offtake the additional 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day from OCTP partners and GPP2. This plant will support the provision of reliable and affordable power and secures Ghana's energy future.
And that was Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen hinting government to begin construction of a 1,200 megawatt state-owned thermal plant in 2026 to secure Ghana's energy future. And that brings us to the end of Business Daily on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck Awusa. For more business stories, please check out our website 3news.com. Thanks for your company.